Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with Our Crafty Playdate, and we are making Christmas cards again. This is the September Christmas Club. During Christmas Club, we make 12 cards a month, and we start in July and we finish in November, and you don't have to come to all classes or order all kits. When we say club, it's just a bunch of people who get together to do it, but you're welcome to come one, come all, come to one or come to all of them. That's fine. We make 4 of each card, 4x3 each month, 12, and then before Thanksgiving, you're done with your holiday cards. You've got 60 beautiful handmade cards, and they're ready to address and send out, and you don't have to worry about them during the crazy part of the year. If you would like to, in the description below, I will have all of the things that I used to make each of the cards in each video. But if you are interested in a kit, it will include everything you need, including everything that's cut out. You will just need the stamps and the ink yourself. So if you already have the stamps and the ink, great. If not, it'll be listed and you're welcome to order them that way. And these are the cards that we are making. Today we're making this one, so let's get started and check the other videos. Be sure that you look for September Christmas Club to see tips on how to make those. So let's get started with this. We are using some unusual colors today to make some cards. Well, not just today, but this month, which some different colors of green, which I just think are great because we're so used to using the heavy, deep colors or the bright garden green. And Christmas isn't only, 2 colors. It's not really only red and green. It's got lots of shades to it. Last month we even made a blue card, if you'll remember. This month, though, we are using the Christmas Banners bundle. So it's the whole thing. It's the dies and the stamps. If you don't have the stamps and you're going to order them to do the kit, you can just order the stamps, but you may want the dies, even though I'm going to cut everything out that you need. You may want the dies for later because it actually cuts out all the banners and all of these little fronds and stuff. That I did that all with the dies. But I had a customer who had ordered this bundle earlier in the year, and she wasn't sure exactly what she wanted to do with it. So I said, you know what, I'll order it too, and I'll make something, and then you'll have some ideas. So this is what we're making. All right, so let's get started. Our card base is Pear Pizzazz. And again, this is a color that I don't use a whole lot. I used to, and I use it a lot more in the spring. It feels like a really springy color for me, but it actually, give me a second here. It actually is a great color for this card. Also, the paper that we're using, this designer series paper back here, is this here. It is from our Painted Christmas paper, this bunch here, which, by the way, I love, and I made a lot of cards with it last year. We used this one. I actually really like it. I cannot wait to use this Jingle Bell one, which is so pretty. But a lot of the backs you could use for different times of the seasons with our cards. So not always, but sometimes that could be a good fall or Thanksgiving card too. So usually they will make the front very holiday related. This to me feels very Christmassy, but the back, that would be pretty if you put just a couple of daisies on it and a happy birthday. It would be actually really cute. So anyway, this is what we're using today for our colored paper, and that goes right on the base. So we can go ahead and just glue that right away and get it out of our way. So I'm using the Liquid Tombow. I'm using the Liquid Tombow. I had a class this morning, and when people leave the lids off, even for just like an extra second, then I have to declog them. One day I'll show you how I do that. It's kind of cute, but there's not a lot of glue on there. It doesn't need a lot, and I'm just going to kind of center it. Is that straight? Is that straighter? Okay, there we go. I'm just going to kind of center it there. The next thing that we need, we are going to use a piece of just white paper, and we'll put white inside also. I didn't because that way I can find my sample again in my class, but you would. And it would be included in your kit, the white paper for inside. This is 2 inches by 5.5, so it's the entire length of the card. And whenever you look at something and it seems just a little too plain, just emboss it. That is the biggest tip I have. The first thing you can do, emboss it. It's like when you're cleaning your house and you don't have a lot of time, somebody calls and they're coming over right away and you only have a few minutes to run around and do one thing, vacuum. It instantly makes your house look better. Same thing with cards. You're missing something, emboss. Okay, so this is the size we need. The embossing folders that we're using are these. The great thing about this is you get two different folders. There's one with the pine, which is what we're using, and then there's one with snowflakes, which we actually, I don't know if we used it this year. I know we used it last year with vellum, and it was just so cute. So it's a good set, and I already did a piece, so I can go ahead and glue that on here. A lot of people like their tape runner, and if you have a good solid strong one, you can use that. But in general, when you're doing a lot of layers or you've got something heavy like it's some embossed paper, it works better if you use the liquid glue. Okay, so, ooh, and if you want to slide it a little bit, you can move it around. Did you see how I just moved that? If I had tape runner on there, I could not do it. Okay, now we have to work on our banner with our pieces here. So let's see, we're done with our glue. Our banner, so I did it the way that I do a lot of things, the easy way. I used my Stamparatus, and let me show you why it's so easy. I used my banner die that I showed you before, and I just, while I was watching TV the other day, I just cut out a whole bunch. Ooh, that one's yucky. Do I have another one? Better. Okay. While I was sitting there, and then I just smeared something on. Okay, we're going back to the yucky one. All right, while I was sitting there, I cut out a bunch of these and apparently smudged on it, but there you go. So I cut out a bunch of these just out of white, ready to cut, and I cut out of scrap paper the same banner. And then I just lay my stamps right on top of it. So there's my greeting, and this is my banner. And you can see how they just flip-flop. That's the best thing, well, one of the many best things about our Stamparatus. So this is just gonna fit in here like that, just like a puzzle. It just slid right in, you saw that. And I'm using 2 colors of ink today. The way that I picked my ink colors, by the way, is I used this paper pack. And the colors in here are Pear Pizzazz and Don't Remember. And this one is Evening Evergreen. So I didn't use this color here, but I used these other 2 colors. So those are the colors of ink that I'm going to use. So my banner is going to be Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to do that one first. So I'm just going to ink it right up here on my Stamparatus. And a lot of people are worried about if they get ink on their Stamparatus here. It's not going to matter because it's not touching anything but your banner in there. So I'm going to give it a little pressure and lift. If I don't get a good image, which I probably did fine, but I'm going to show you anyway, I could just pop it right back in there like the puzzle that it is, right? And ink it up. If I want to fix that one little area, I could just ink it up again, fold it over, and just give a little more pressure to the area that I want to give some more solid image. And because it goes in exactly the same place, did you see how that worked so well? I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to pop this one right back in here. This also makes it great and easy for classes when you come. Because those are already cut out for you, all you really have to do is pop it right in the puzzle, and then you can stamp. And if you come to a normal class, you have to do all this yourself. I'm using now Evening Evergreen. I'm getting it all over the plastic here. It doesn't matter. These plates, when I want to clean them, I just pull them out and run them under water, and then I use my stamp cleaner to kind of condition them. But it gets all that major ink off, and it just pops right back in, and it's going to be right in the same place that it would have been if I had just left it alone. Okay, so I inked that up already. I'm going to make sure that I've got it nice and covered. And I made sure my paper's all the way in. I'm going to give it some pressure and open it up. And there it is. Worked out perfectly. And it always does. That's the beauty of the Stamparatus. And now I can just continue to make as many cards of these as I want. Just flip 1, flip 2. Every time just inking it up. Okay, so I have my banner made. I'm going to close this because, as you can see, I'm already green today. All right, so that's my banner, and now I just need my parts. So I have already cut them out, only because I didn't want to do it on camera. It makes the camera jiggle too much. It's not that it's hard at all, I promise. It's just that it makes the camera jiggle too much. So if when you cut it out, you have some little parts here that didn't come out, you can just poke them with a poker, with a pencil, with a pen, with your fingernail, with your scissors, whatever works for you. I'm just gonna do a quick rundown. Normally I would use the brush attachment on my Take Your Pick and just run over it and it would take care of that. So I've got those and my gold. This is gold foil and this color is Evening Evergreen cardstock. And now I'm gonna lay it out like this. So that's kind of how I have it here. And I'm gonna use a little bit of Scotch tape. Hang on one second here. See, that's what happens when I jiggle. I'm gonna use a little bit of Scotch tape to hold it. Another way to do that is, this is a good time to use a tape runner. You can just put a little on each end, like that, where it's gonna go. That's why I don't use it. That's one of the many reasons why I don't use them. Anyway, you can do that, or you can just use Scotch tape, which is what I usually do. All right, so I'm gonna put these up here, and I'm just gonna kind of stick them in behind. I want this one a little more in front. Good. And I'm gonna flip it over and just put a tiny piece of tape. On my fingernail. There we go. And now I can do the bottom. So I have the gold kind of underneath the green, like that. And I'm gonna turn it around and I'm just gonna put it on here like that, and then flip it over and put another little piece of tape. And I am not worried about putting tape on here because nobody's gonna see it. Except I can just keep taping my thumb to things. Do you see that? Nobody's gonna see the tape. You can hold these things down with dimensionals. And in this case it works, but I did it with one of my other cards and it just wasn't enough tension on it. So I'm gonna put one more piece here. Well, actually I can show you. I can put it now with the dimensional because it will work on this. Because this whole thing is going to be up on a dimensional. So let's get our dimensionals out. I love dimensionals. You really can't have enough of them. I have a ton of them. And I split them up like this to put them for class. Okay, so let's see. Oh my goodness. All right. There we go. I want it to show. And I'm just gonna put one right there. And that is gonna hold. I just kind of pinched it right on top of there. And I'm gonna put another one here. And if you're worried about the middle of your banner, you can put another one here. They work out to be about a penny a piece, really, so it's not like you're gonna go broke using dimensionals. And it gives it some good elevation. And now I am going to stick that right on there like that. You just wanna make sure when you're sticking it down that it's gonna stay within your card. And that's not for an aesthetic thing, that's really so it fits in your envelope well. But there you go, that's all she wrote on that. If you do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. There will be a list of everything that I used for these cards in the description below. And again, if you are interested in this set, please send me an email. My email address will be in the description below also. And just send me an email with the September Christmas Club in the subject line, and I will make sure to get one out to you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great night. Bye-bye.